So can this summit be seen as a success for President Trump? Let's talk to George Yeo, former Foreign Minister of Singapore and currently visiting scholar at the National University of Singapore. George, welcome. Wonderful to see you, and thank you so much for your time. In your judgment and given your considerable experience, was this a landmark moment or just political theatre?
So far as theatrics are concerned, the visit went as well as it could have. The key is Taiwan, and China will not give details until the U.S. clarifies its position on Taiwan. Xi began his speech by talking about the Thucydides trap. Are we rivals or are we cooperating? If you are unhelpful on Taiwan, then we are rivals. Then all the other deals will not come about. And I believe that maybe in the next few days, we will see Trump making a statement on Taiwan and following up with decisions on arms sales to Taiwan. If the Chinese are satisfied that the U.S. one China position is clear, then many of the deals will be unblocked. Then the details will be forthcoming.
I wonder if summits like this should be seen as an event or a process. I mean, should we expect headlines, many headlines today, or simply, as you suggest, the start of narrative that could go on for weeks, months, years even?
Well, much preparation had gone into the visit. So it was well choreographed, and it's quite clear watching the videos that Trump and Xi like each other. They were charming each other. And that's important because whatever the strategic considerations, personal relations do matter in diplomacy. And between the leaders of the two superpowers in the world, this relationship matters a lot. Because if there's trust, then the room for negotiation enlarges. But if there's no trust and there's suspicion, then, well, everyone will be careful and much less can be done. So it's gone well. Trump looked happy. Xi looked happy. They went out of their way to show friendliness. But the Chinese, being cautious and knowing that Trump is mercurial, will wait for him to make the first move. And the first move will be about Taiwan.
I wonder what this summit outcome looks like from a Southeast Asian point of view, and in particular where you are. I mean, what does a successful US-China relationship look like from that part of the world?
You know, for us in Southeast Asia, when the US and China are in dispute, it's like father and mother quarreling, you know. We feel very upset, we feel very stressed, and we know that it's not good for us. So there's nothing more cheering for us than to see good relations between the US and China. Then there's business to be made. We are not forced to choose, and life becomes much less stressful.
And what does this summit, I wonder, tell us about not just China and the United States, but about the emerging multipolar world?
You see, many Americans think that the long-term relationship between the US and China is zero-sum. It is the Thucydidean mentality. It's either you or me. China doesn't see it that way. China, in its history, however powerful it was, had to live with other powers in the world. So it's quite comfortable living in a world where the US remains very powerful, very influential, so long as its own security and interests are looked after. So China does not see the future in zero-sum terms. And interestingly, Trump probably doesn't see the future as necessarily being zero-sum. And therefore, for the next 3 years, when Trump is still in power, the Chinese would like to have a constructive, strategic relationship. And it is possible. It is something which can be achieved, and it can be achieved. It will be 3 calmer years ahead of us. It's possible, and this visit may well set it off.
George, fascinating stuff. I wish we had many hours to talk, but it's great having you on the programme. George Yeo, former Foreign Minister of Singapore.